I won Best Year Sports Picks. His name is Mike Brenner. My name is Peter Loshak. We are the Odds Couple. We come to you from sportsbookreview.com. We're talking right now with Joe Gavazzi from winningsportsadvice.com about a couple of games in college basketball that are going on Friday, so we don't have a line yet for these games. And in fact, the one we're going to talk about now, Providence, BC, we're doing this call on Wednesday, the 21st. BC actually has a game tonight against Fairfield, where I'm slightly on the under on that one. I've already put my bet in, but we don't know how that game's going to go. But then they're going to play Providence on Friday, and Providence doesn't have another game until then. But Providence is an interesting team. Mike Brenner, at the beginning of the year, you had Providence circled as a team that you thought was a good team and might be a good bet, and they certainly were. They covered 7 out of their first 9 spreads, but as always happens, the market might have started to caught up because they won their might have started to catch up because they've won their last 3 games easily, but lost 2 of them against the spread. They beat Maine in their last game by 20 points, but they were a 24-point favorite. And then 3 games ago, they beat UMass by 6. But they were an 8-point favorite, so they lost that one. So close. After covering their 7 out of their first 9, they've lost 2 out of their last 3 ATS, and the market might be catching up right now with Providence. What do you think?
They might be, but I think, there's so many factors because BC plays tonight. I mean, anything can happen injury-wise, but I think Providence getting some rest definitely helps. I look for Providence in this game to come out early with an advantage on maybe a first half, especially since BC obviously playing tonight. So with that being said, let's pass it off to Jumpin' Joe Gavazzi.
Right, Joe Gavazzi, what's your take on this game?
0-18 straight up. That was the Boston College record in ACC play last year. And regardless what they do in the month of December, they will not be competitive again as this program continues to retool. They're well under 500 at home in recent seasons, and they don't have the athletes to keep up with the quality teams. Question is, does Providence care about this game? Providence is a team who lost Dunn and Ben Teal, 2 pros this year, and it was a question mark whether they'd be able to compete. Well, Ed Cooley has answered that again, just as he's lost other big-name players in the past. The players that he plugs in just continue to roll on. In other words, Ed Cooley is a great coach. Nowhere does that show up more than a momentum stat, which tells us he's 66-44 against the spread if he won his previous game at home, and the fact that in conference play, on the road, he's 66-33 against the spread. Now, this is not a conference game, but they'll be treating it as such, and here's the reason why. Providence is a team that could well be right on the bubble come time for the NCAA tourneys, and it is important to win every game against the substandard teams in the big-name conferences in order to not be knocked off the bubble. Cooley knows that. He's an experienced coach. Look for him to have his team ready. They always play better on the road, and they will against a regional rival like Boston College. I like Providence here. I expect the number to be 7 or 8 points, and I think they'll win it by double digits.
All right, sounds good. Providence clearly a good team, and the market might catch up with them, but it's not going to catch up every game. It doesn't. And when the market catches up, there can still be times when a team that's been undervalued still has value. It's just there tend to be fewer of them, and the value tends to be lower. But the market doesn't catch up like 100% immediately.
Yeah, it's like a hurdle in the road. And like Joe said, one thing about Providence with Coach Cooley, he's not going to let him overlook this game, and I actually think that line's a little bit low. Because I dig into Providence. They've cashed a lot of tickets for me through the years. I'm going to be on that, and especially at that line, I have no problem with that. And again, that might get adjusted after tonight, but we'll see. But great breakdown, Jumpin' Joe Gavazzi.
We'll see. Last year, Providence was a 14-point favorite at home against BC. So, if we see a similar line, Joe might be right that it's in the upper single digits.
Sure.
Joe Gavazzi from winningsportsadvice.com. Thanks so much. Give a plug for your website.
My pleasure, as always, being with you guys, the Odd Couple, and a happy holiday season to you. Remember, for sporting news that you can use, go to winningsportsadvice.com. It's always up there for you guys.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
Research before you bet. Be sure to check out SPR Picks for the best game predictions, breakdowns, and much, much more.